Just picking up from what Dom left on, then the changes that the kind of club need to make, Neil. I mean, I don't suppose you've got anything in mind that you would tell us, kind of what's in your thoughts.
I just think it's like I came up here for Steve and I said to him that I think before the end of the season we'll have a chat about what I feel how I can help really and what I think's needed at the club. And I've been making points over the last few weeks and months that we'll have to address in the next few weeks, and I think it's all about taking the club forward. Steve wants success, he wants what he's done for Middlesbrough is unbelievable, and I want to help him achieve that really.
And in terms of those kind of changes that you'd like to see, could they be critical to kind of your decision on whether you stay on or not beyond this season?
Not necessarily. No, I just want to try and give my input now at a time where there's 3 months left, isn't there? February, March, April, about 3 months left of the season, and I don't think you can stand still. I think you've got to look forward and how you can improve, how you can get better. I think we've had a decent season, but I think it should have been so much more, so much better. Some of the things I could have changed, but some of the things you couldn't change. Steve couldn't change either. So I think the opportunity will be there to have a chat and see exactly what we can do together, really.
Yeah. And just on another thing, I know you've mentioned you don't really know timescale yet with Balassi, but are you still hopeful he will play again this season?
Oh, crikey, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. He wants to train. I mean, he's training now. If you saw him on his bike yesterday, you wouldn't think there were out wrong with him, flying around on that indoor bike and what have you. It's one of those things. If I told you tomorrow was our last game, Craig, he'd play tomorrow.
Right.
If that makes sense. He has a similar situation to what Johnny Howson had, and scans can be very dangerous things in older players, because if you had a naturally fit, 100% fit 33-year-old or 34-year-old and you took a scan, you'd find problems with it because there's damage there. So you've got to be a little bit careful. If you can explain that the muscle is a little bit like that and it should be together and it's opened a little bit, but not in the main tissues, it's only on the side. So, Johnny didn't lose his power, and Yannick's not lost his power, but we've just got to make sure that it's not too open, that it might just blow, completely. Do you know what I mean? So, I can see him in the near future, really, coming back in. Because he wants to do it, like Johnny Howson. Johnny Howson asked me to play him 2.5 weeks before we played him. Luckily, we had that gap, didn't we? We only had one game, I think, so it wasn't worth it. We tried to give him another 2 weeks to help him out, whereas in Yannick's case, we might not have the time to do that. We might have to shove him in.
Yeah, and I guess that is a positive, isn't it? Because you mentioned Mendes Lang's kind of positivity, and the same with Balassi as well. These are the kind of players who are positive, that can make something happen almost out of nothing, and it could be that you need to kind of turn this bad form around.
Absolutely, yeah. You look for a spark, don't you? And it's I couldn't see that really at the weekend. So you've got to try and find it. Although I didn't think Cabana did too bad on Saturday. He limited passing. The problem you've got with some of our lads is, as a winger, and because I was a winger, if you've got a man marking you tight, Craig, and you look at him, they won't pass it to you because they think the man's marking you tight. Well, in Cabana's case, in my case when I played, I wanted it to me, even if I had a man on me. Because that's how you are. So it's like our lads getting used to what Neeskens wants, really. Just give him the ball. Don't worry about the man who's marking him. He'll take care of that. So it's just a matter of people getting used to the players, really.
Yeah, and obviously with the form and everything, we've touched on kind of mood and spirit. I mean, how have the players been? Because team spirit was so high. I mean, have they been a bit low during this form, or are they managing to maintain?
I've not seen anything like that, Craig. No, I think it's just the disappointment, really. The lack of when you do lose games, your confidence goes a little bit, doesn't you? You see things that probably think twice before they react. And people like Paddy on Saturday hesitated a couple of times, and so you've just got to ask them to get back into it, really. And same with Dick Steele. I'm asking Dick Steele to do jobs sometimes that I shouldn't be, but it's just a matter of getting them all back into the roles and moving on.
Brilliant. That's all from me now, but thanks for that.
Thanks,
and
Craig.
Good luck tomorrow.
Joe.
Hi, Neil.
Yes,
Sorry, I'm
mate.
a bit late, so apologies if I ask anything that's been already asked.
Don't worry.
Just with what you said at the weekend with the strikers and the lack of goals, how do you think you can go about changing that? Is that a change of formation or tactical or something on the training ground, maybe?
Yeah, I think you've got to look at everything really. I mean, I've been here. I don't know how long I've been here now, Joe. If I'm honest, I can't. Time's flown that much. I can't tell you when I actually came. When did I come, Juicy?
Just working it out. You've been here just about 9 months.
9 months. Crikey, eh? Have a baby in that time. I mean, I just think you've got to look round at what there is. We've all been there as a, sometimes are we leaking goals? How can we help the defence? We're not creating enough in midfield. How can we do that? How can we chip? How can we create more goals? Another wide. It's a mixture of everything. Really, what you've got to try and do is when you lose 3 or 4 good players, you've got to try and work out with what you've got. How can we give the opponents more to do? And that's when I'm on Saturday. That's how I thought on my own. I was on the bus on the way back, and I thought, right, how am I going to give Huddersfield more problems than what we give them Derby today? So I've got to try certain things.
You moved Paddy McNair into midfield on Saturday. Was that just a temporary thing, or do you think that could be something that you do more often?
I think it's nice to know that's available, really, Joe, isn't it? But I didn't think I just thought I wanted to get Grant on the pitch as well. So, not necessarily. I do love him at the back, especially when Dale's fit. But, at the moment, you just don't know who you're going to lose next, really. And we are a bit thin in midfield.
Yeah. You mentioned Dale. How are Dale and Marcus Tavernier?
Yeah, they both had a good session yesterday. Probably Tav's just maybe a few days to a week behind Dale. I'm hoping. I think, like I said, if it was the last game of the season tomorrow, I think Dale would play as well. Whereas Tav, I think he would be probably Reading game or maybe Bristol City. Are you with me?
Yeah.
But it'll not be long now. Tav's just a little bit more because he wants. He thinks he's fit every week. He thought he was fit the next day after he did it, and it's only when you do certain things with a knee problem that you have the pain and you know that it's not right yet. So, but he'll be busting a gut to be back in, and I have missed his moaning self if I'm honest.
Yeah, I've actually been reading your book, Neil, and one of the things that came in that was
Which one, Joe? Which one, Joe?
The Sheffield one.
Oh, the Born in Sheffield, yeah, the autobiography. Wow, right.
I got it for Christmas, so I've been reading that. So, and one of the things that you said in that was that you speak more, I think, to the players that aren't in the team than the ones that are in the team. So, are you including the players that are in? People even like Marcus Brown, who's going to be?
Yeah, I had a good chat with him the other day, Marcus. He was all his scars from his operation and that, and he was on the bed, and I said to him, it'll soon pass. He's working hard. He's got the swelling down from his knee now, and in a way, I know you've got to look at the plus side from things like that. He did his cruise ship, which he's had it done, but he had a problem with his kneecap, and that sounds silly, but he's used the cruise ship to mend his kneecap problem as the surgeon. So he's not going to come back and his kneecap have a problem again. So he'll be a lot stronger come back, and he'd probably not be pre-season looking at him. He'd probably be towards the autumn that he comes back. But I was really pleased with Marcus. His attitude. I think he's probably the most changed professional at the club in my eyes since I came. When I first come, I thought his attitude was rubbish, and as far as I'm concerned, he could have gone anywhere. But in fairness to him, he could come back in pre-season and he just changed our mind. His ability, his training, everything he did was positive. Never moaned once, just everything. And got some ability, the lad, as well. So I was disappointed to lose him. But, the lad will come back. And as I said to him, there's worse things at sea at the moment than an operation. He's a young lad and he'll be buzzing in the next few months.
but it's just about keeping those guys that kind of are on the fringes.
Well, exactly. I mean, people like, your Jeds and Marvins and Aidens, they probably look at the moment and think, where am I going to get a game? Are you with me? But football changes in the flick of a hand, and these lads are important, and you're only as good as what your squad is, and that's why you've got to keep them on board, really, because you're going to need them at some time.
Spot on. Cheers, Neil. Good luck tomorrow.
Stuart, where are you, Stuart? Oh, I've got you. Yeah. Hi, Stu.
How you doing?
All right.
Just a quick one. I mean, Huddersfield are in pretty poor form as well at the moment. Do you think it's just a case of probably from both sides' point of view, just being positive and just going at one another to try and shake this?
Well, from our point of view, I don't think we've got to worry about Huddersfield or anybody else, really. We've just got to try and have a go tomorrow, and try and give ourselves an opportunity. And that's what I'll be asking the lads, to go and play with a bit of freedom. It's not the same situation as last year. We've got an opportunity there, and I mean, my old club Cardiff have shown you what a few good results. Mick's come in, and it's not rocket science. He's got a good squad of players there, and he's not trying to change anything. And it doesn't surprise me. So we've got a similar thing. We've got to try and get our strengths, play to our strengths, whatever the team is, whoever's missing, and work on that and be positive.
Do you think generally when a team's in a poor run of form, it's about just creating that freedom in their heads, especially as you say when you're not in a relegation battle and you do have that freedom in the league table?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just so strange, especially at home. I think you don't realise the loss of fans till you actually go. I don't think it's a shock that there's a lot more away wins at the moment than there is at home, because it's such a weird, some of the places you get changed in. I mean, I still don't understand why we are so nice to people, mate. At the dressing room, what our visitors get changed in is as good as anything. We're shoved everywhere, us. We're shoved at the back of stands, up in this cupboard and that cupboard, when we go away. So it's so, your planning and your preparation is so difficult when you're on a concourse and it's bloody freezing, and you haven't got the preparation correct. It's really strange. And I think also, I don't think referees are as on top of the game at the moment because they've no fans. I think they thrive, and they're better when they've got people in, even if they're having a go at them. I think at the moment they know they can get away with anything, really. So a lot of the time they don't make decisions at the minute, and I think it's easier not to make a decision. So the sooner that fans come back, for me, the better. I'll be so disappointed if we can't, if there's not fans back at the start of the season.
Do you think it just focuses the mind a bit more for everyone? And if so, does that even apply to you managers?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's just so strange. Unless you've experienced it, it's hard to describe, because they're all like training matches, aren't they? It's that change. There's so much at stake, and yet it's such a weird experience. It's something that I've never thought I'd ever experience, and goodness knows what some of the younger managers are thinking, because it's just never happened before, never happened again, hopefully. To play in front of so many empty grounds. I mean, even the Bournemouth game, which I missed because I'd got the COVID, hadn't I? They said the atmosphere was fabulous with 2,000 fans in. So yeah. I think hopefully they've got to start something like. I watched the cricket this morning, and the Indians had got the stands full, quite full, and the atmosphere was super. I was even cheering a lad getting his 100 for India this morning. That's how bad it was. Because I thought it was an achievement that he did, and we need that vocal support.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Ashwin feeding off it, couldn't you? And
absolutely.
I was at Harrogate in December with 800 in, and even that just lifted you.
Yeah, it does. Like you said, it wasn't just Ashwin; it lifted the number 11 batsman, didn't it? He'd never played like that in his life. I see Ashwin telling him every day, "Just calm down, slow down, play a straight bat." I thought it was really good. That I know I shouldn't against England, but I was really pleased he got his 100 and that today, and thought it was good for the sport. And it was lovely to see fans in the ground and create that atmosphere, because it's not the same without them.
T-side!
Be bold. Be immersed. Be transformed. Be Teesside.
There's a bit of space here for Tavernier. Fletcher, he spins! Yes, for Borough! The teenager has put the home side ahead. 7 minutes before the break, and Jed Spence with his first goal for Middlesbrough. What a moment for the teenager. Fletcher's cross, Spence's finish. Borough 1, Huddersfield 0. Grant. And Stankovic! What a chance! And he's missed it. Timed his run to perfection. Should have scored. Huddersfield battling away. Kachunga. Oh, nice turn of pace from him, and he's away. And it'll come for Mounier! Deflection made it a little bit awkward. But that's a great chance. Spence wins the throw-in, taken quickly. This is Fletcher. Spence! Coulson! Well, he's had a couple of chances and he's missed them both. It's the second time in the game he's got into a good position but hasn't been able to finish off the chance. Borough can break with numbers. This is Fletcher. It's still Fletcher. Goalkeeper narrowed the angle. Still there for Borough. They'll get a corner out of it. Good goalkeeping from Grabara. Spence caught napping. Grant. Bakuna. Excellent work again from Ainsley Pears. Ball moving in the air. Tavernier on the half volley. Struck it well, but struck it wide. Fletcher will collect. This is Fletcher for Borough. It's still there for the home side. A good save, and Fletcher puts it in from an offside position. Good defensive work. Fletcher was offside just there. Still Huddersfield keep coming, looking for an equaliser. Meunier! Straight forward for the goalkeeper. Four home wins in a row for Middlesbrough. Teenager Jed Spence, the hero, with a moment he'll remember forever.
It's your thing. Do what you wanna do. I can say